I fundamentally believe that companies that fixate on customer satisfactions are the only ones that survive and grow. They are the only ones that will make it off of the corporate savannah and into the future. It's the only place to start. Fixation on customer satisfaction is the only way to run a business. If you think that fixating on getting exams or fixating on having technology in your call center or fixating on a bunch of other stuff that's to do with running your businesses like your P&L and all that kind of stuff is important, you're wrong. The only thing that is important in business is customer satisfaction. Because at the end of the day, those people pay your bills. And actually, the insurers that we work with that really get this, that are really smart about this, are the ones that really understand that once you start fixating on that, life starts getting cheaper. Making customers happy is cheaper. In fact, once you start fixating on customer service, you're going to find that your costs go down. It's really counterintuitive. People think that fixation on customer service will mean your costs go up. They do not. They go down. And case after case after case, and I know of one very large insurer in the UK who will attest to the fact that they are almost number one in the insurance industry and they have one of the lowest claims ratios in the insurance industry, and it's all down to fixation on customer satisfaction. So your costs will go down, your employees will be happier. So I notice you have best companies, we have that. Dealing with happy customers all day long, guess what? It makes you happy. Dealing with pissed off customers all day long really makes your life terrible. It's not fun. People leave. All that expensive training and onboarding and recruiting and all that kind of stuff, you can just flush that straight down the toilet when somebody's living in a world that they're dealing with crap all day long. Making customers happy raises employee engagement, makes them happier, increases retention, lowers costs. In fact, a lot of the companies that have high customer satisfaction actually have lower employee costs because people want to work there. And they'll work there for less money. It's more expensive to get somebody to work in an environment where they hate it all day long. You'll have increased satisfaction in your supply chain, especially in the commercial supply chain when you've got so many people. So I was talking to somebody the other day who had had a flood in their commercial property, and there was at least 3 people involved in drying things out and then replacing equipment and all that kind of stuff. And they were just, I'm sure they'd had really good service, they were really pissed off. They were really annoyed about the whole thing. And they were really annoyed with every part of the supply chain. But if you really connected it, not only would you be happy, not only would they be happy, the entire supply chain would be happy, which would make it cheaper. You'd have a lot more fun. Companies that make people happy have a lot more fun. And here comes the kicker. You'd make more money. You see, the companies that have higher customer satisfaction have higher retention rates. And we monitor retention rates in the insurance industries, and this is for sure throughout the world. And by the way, you know what? They can charge more money. They charge more money, they have higher retention rates, they make more profit. Just by focusing on one thing and one thing only, make customers happy. Number one, tell them what you're going to do. Right? Actually telling people in advance what's going to happen, even if it's going to take a week to fix their car, tell them in advance what you're going to do. Communicate with them. And you may have to say it more than once, because one of the senses that shuts down when you go into fight or flight mode is your hearing. And you'll hear that in a number of times when you deal with claims, that somebody almost phones you back later and they go, sorry, I didn't remember, what did you say? So tell them and really be really explicit about what you've told them. Then do it. And I know that seems really simple, but you'd be stunned about the number of times that we listen to customers and they say to us, well, they said that they were going to come the day after tomorrow to fix my issue, and they didn't, so I had to phone them. And every time the customer phoned them, they went into flight or fight mode. They didn't like that. It was stressful for them. And not only that, but it costs you money to deal with every single one of those phone calls. Then tell them that you've done it. And actually, even saying thank you to them, I know it sounds weird, but say thank you to them. If something goes wrong, tell them. Big source of frustration when we listen to claimants talking about the frustration in the process, they'll talk about the fact that the claims company said they were going to call me back tomorrow to book in a visit, and they didn't call me. So I called them. Or they said they were going to come on Friday, and they didn't come. So I phoned them. If you're not going to come on Friday, could you phone them on Thursday and tell them that you're not going to come so they don't take the day off work? I know it seems like a small thing, but to them it's really big. Actually admitting failure in advance is much better than failing. And if you can't tell them that you're not going to be able to tell them. Send them a text. Seriously, it's so simple. But the vast majority of the claims industry is not doing this. It's so simple. Always, always, always remember the chimp. Always remember what it feels like to be in that rather uncomfortable situation, that rather nervous situation. And think about the caller in the Serengeti, wondering whether they're going to get eaten by you. And how can you reassure them that that's not going to happen? If you do, you've got a better chance of surviving in the future.